Hello guys, welcome to my channel Programming with Mohammed. Hope all are well wherever you are. Um, do you guys ever wonder how to do the social login process? Like, suppose you have a Gmail account or Twitter, Facebooks or Instagrams or many different social network account. You can use those account informations to log into your Django applications, so do you know how to implement these to your Django application? If you're not sure how to do it, we'll do it together and I'll show you step by step how to do it. Um Basically we will use here Django-allauth package, which is a Django apps that allow the sign up or social account, within the few click, you can log into your application, instead of creating the whole process, sign up and creating your account. But instead of doing all of these, you can use those third-party accounts, so basically Django-allauth will allow you to quickly handle and create a sign up flow, instead of using the Django built-in user creation form. But you can use it as well, but I have shown you how to use Django built-in user creation form to my Django Basic to Advanced series, and Django how to create the REST API as well, so you are feel free to watch those videos, and you can know how to do it as well. But there's another skill, you can, there's a plenty of web applications, they allow to use your third-party account details to log into their account as well, so I'll show you how to do it all this, so let's do it together now. Okay, so please be subscribe to my YouTube channel and like and share, and that's really encourage me to create more contents, Okay guys, so the Django comes with a built-in very highly sophisticated authentication system for user, but one thing, it does not provide to support the third-party social authentication. Let's say you want to log in through your Gmail account or GitHub account or Facebook's or some other, you name it, you will find it, well, but luckily there's an excellent third-party package which is called Django-allauth package. It does it just a few steps, so in these tutorials I will cover how to add your login. You can choose the GitHub, you can choose the Google, Gmails or Facebook, Twitter, to a basic Django site, the process is almost identical for other third-party service, as I mentioned, including Facebook, Gmail, Twitter, and many more, right. So to do this, first we will do a couple of things, so just go in here with a new terminal. The first what I'll do, I'll create the one directory, this is the best way, to keep your all the files and everything inside one directory, right? So I'm doing these tutorials in Windows, so go to the command prompt, instead of a PowerShell. Okay, just directory Django. Right, now we open this directory again so that you can see what's happening in there. I just want to, I just like it, side by side, the Django tutorials. Okay, we'll open the terminal again, delete this PowerShell. Now guys, I hope you guys are familiar, how to check the Python is installed or not, how to install the Pythons, how to install the virtual environment, how to create all of this stuff, but if you're not sure, please watch my Django Basic to Advanced series and Django REST API, how to build it, so I have explained all of this stuff, over there, so you can watch those videos, and you'll be very familiar how to do all of this stuff, So next we will now we'll create the first step virtual environment. Before we create the virtual environment, we have to install the virtual environment, but I have already installed the virtual environment on my device. So to create the virtual environment inside this directory, so just write -m virtual environment and give the name of the virtual environment. So all-auth, right? All-auth virtual environment. Okay, this thing. It's in there. Okay, next we will activate the virtual environment. Okay, so to activate the virtual environment, give the name of the virtual environment and write script. Wait. Hope that your virtual environment is activated. Like this is before that. See, like you have a first bracket name of the virtual environment. Like and the benefit of using that all-auth package, like it's gonna improve your sign up process very quickly. Like most of the user, like at this stage, like they have their social account, like either Facebook's or Twitter's or Gmail, like Google's and Facebook and stuff, like so instead of you writing usernames and password, you can easily log in through your social account, like which makes more quicker, like for sign up process. Right, okay guys, install the Django. So install the Django, sorry. Now we have installed the Django. Next we will create a project, right? So to create the project, right, I'll go admin start project and give the name of the project. It's config config dash dot. This is the way I do, because if you don't give that dot, like it's gonna create the two folder. First you'll get the config. Inside the config there will be another folders and all the files, like but if you do did where, there'll be only one folder, and inside the folder, like will be all the files, like there. Now so next we will create our database. Migrate. When you do the migrate command, it's gonna create the database, like the SQLite 3 database. So and we'll run our server. Let's see if we have it. So we'll run well. Let's do the web browser on right. 0.0.1 dash colon 8000. So if everything goes well, like that means your setup is perfect. Okay. So this part is done, dusted. So next what we'll do, we're just going to deactivate our server. To deactivate the server, like just do Control C on Windows, like and same with Mac as well, Control C. So next we will install our the Django all-auth package, which does all this magic, like to log in with a third-party email, like the social account. So So uh, now we have installed the django-allauth package. Next, we need to update our setting files, and we'll add several lines of django-allauth configurations to the installed app in here, in the sections, right? So write down those below commands like
Papa.
my son just came in, like asking me different things, like so I had to stop for a while. Anyway, guys, so when you are adding those different apps, like on here, like the order is matter, like so you have to follow the step-by-step order. So first we will write go dot country sites all-auth all social not account all-auth social account. Finally we'll add social account providers. Here you can add like providers, either you want to log into Gmail, you want to Facebook, Twitter, or you can do the multiple one, like so in here we'll do the GitHub. Okay, now we need to specify a couple of more things, like we need to specify that we are using the all-auth backend, so we have to add the site ID. Since all of the use these, like so if you go for the documentation, all of documentation, you will see some of the mandatory field, like you have to fulfill, like and configures redirect to the home page upon once the user is successful login, like so write those stuff, like so actually authentication backend, so that's right. Country backend. Should give me all the hints, like I shouldn't have to write all of them, like but some reason my computer is a bit slow, like next this part is used for default sign in, such as logging into your admin panel, like right. Next we write all-auth dot backend. It's all authentication backend. Right. And this part is used for social authentication. Okay. save the file and retrieve site ID. I noticed, like, site ID, if you used earlier, look at the different um, site ID, like, it might get a bit of clash with your program, like, for timing we'll give one, like, but if it's the clash with the site ID, like, we'll change the site ID. Okay. And just to give the email verification, should keep them none. And lastly, we'll do the login redirect. This is how it should give me, like, hints, like, for some reason the computer a bit slow is not giving me hints straight away, like, what URL. Once the user login, where do you want to land your home page, like, this is what login redirect means, like, so just go to the home page. Okay, you can, what page you want to land the user, like, you can do it in here, like, login redirected, right? Okay. So save the files. So we have Django all-auth packages installed. Now we can figure out, like, for URLs part, like, you can use any suffix you want, but this official documentation you use the accounts, so you'll use that too as well, like, and we have to use the include package as well, like, so to go to the URL files here. First, what we'll do, we'll import the include package. Okay, right. Next we're going to our path, like, so we'll write account. This is how the documentation it says, like, you have to, so we're going to use as well accounts. So we'll include all auth URLs. Okay. Excuse me. So once you do this, like, you're going to go to the migrate again command, connect to the database as well, like, all the tables and stuff, like. Perfect. Okay. Now we will use the OAuth application, like, which is kind of an open standard for authentication between the two systems, like, when a user logs into your site, like, with their GitHub account, we will redirect them to GitHub, which then sends us a token that represents the user, like, so to do all of the process, like, we need to get a client IDs and client token from the GitHub as well. Okay, so just go to the GitHub account. So this is my GitHub account, like, I'm just going to show you how to do all of this, right? So once you're in here, just feel free to fork and download those repository, like this is all the kind of tutorials repository. So go to the settings, and from there go to the application, and from here like authorize all the apps, like if you see this is the GitHub for BS Code, like my the BS Code is connected to the GitHub as well, like so for using the Git, like so if you want to create the new one, just write it down here, the new. And see the bar, the new auth application, like registers a new auth application, like so it is very important to fill out the application names and homepage URLs and authentications callback URL. The application description is optionals. So here are the settings. Start the setting. Okay, so give the name, let's say what you want to give the name is up to you, like whichever you prefer, like but name makes sense, like what you're doing, like so give the name all of the tutorial, let's say. And homepage URL, like as you are using, like the local server, like which is localhost, like 127.0.0.1:8000. So to do, write down http://7.0.0.1:8000, right? And descriptions is optional, but just give them all of the tutorial, right? And the application authorization callback URL, which is very important, like the authorizations callback URL takes a particular form for each integrated. And if you go to the Django-allauth docs, like there will be plenty of information, like what exactly it does, like so to do the callback, like let's write it down. Slash 8000 accounts login. Here you can see the enable device flow, like which what it does, when you are you want to log in, like it's gonna send you the verification code to your device, or it's gonna send you the verification code to your emails, and you have to put this verification code to the device, like this is how it does, like if you go to the device notification, this is what it says, like there. So registered applications, all right. Excuse me. Once you register the application, it will give you the client IDs and client secret, like this is a client ID, so we're going to use this, and it will generate later on the client secret as well. Okay, so just this is my names, like the name of the GitHub account. So we have to fill those client ID and client secret to the Django applications, like to do this, like we have to create the super user, like So to create the super user, like just write it down. Py create super user to provide your usernames and passwords and email address, like let me just see, so give it my name of the user here and email address. Give the email address programming. Gmail.com. Password, like but I prefer like 1 2 3 4 5 6, even though the Django don't recommend, like so this again, you see. So let's go for a yes, like for time being. So we've created like the super user. Just go to the migrate again. If there's anything missing, like it's gonna connect with the database, like so as you can see, nothing to migration, like so now we'll run our server and we'll go to the admin page, right? Okay, so login with the username, the ch and password 1 2 3 4 5 6. To log in, we need a couple of things, like we need to make 2 updates to the admin for Django all-auth to work correctly, right? First, go to the site here and we have to add so go to add section. So we have to add the domain name, which is our 127.0.0.1, and display name is optional, like just give a abc.com. Let's save this. So basically display name is for internal admin use, so you can leave it as it for now being. Okay, it's not a big deal. So when you deploy your Django application, this all-auth tutorial, like on applications live, you would replace that 127.0.0.1 here, and on GitHub with your actual production page, homepage, like you have to change the GitHub as well if you want to go for live, like for time being we're using the local host for testing purpose, like now next go to the admin here and go to the social applications, okay, and where we'll configure our that the GitHub's auth stuff, like client ID and client security. We're going to use step by step. Okay, so just go to social application, add, and here we will add those client ID and client secrets and give all the names and stuff, like so the provider here, like you see it will give us a GitHub, because we set the provider as a GitHub, like a name could be make sense GitHub. Okay, next we will add the client ID, so go to there for tutorial purpose I'm showing you all this, like but in real world, like you have to be hide those things, like get the client secret, right? A new client secret. Okay, Spring password, okay. So this is the client secret, okay. Let's copy this and add it in here. Next, we're going to get this one to chosen site in here and save this. Now we are done and dusted, like, next we will build a small home page, like, right, for the testing purpose, like, so let's build the simple home page. We're going to put the login links for the first time, and if the user is logged in, to create the name of the user, like, by their name, which will be, the name will be like, GitHub username, like. And so we'll create a view files inside the project, like, folder. But I can create like apps in here. Inside the apps, like, I'm going to create the views and HTML templates, all this stuff, like, but I'm going to do it inside the project in here, let's say. So we create one file here, which will be the views.py. And so we'll grab a couple of web packages, like, once you create our view, like, we have to update our URLs and make new templates and stuff, like, so first we'll create the views, okay, and inside the views we'll grab a couple of packages, like, so from the Django views, yes, dot generate excuse me, code template view. We're using the built-in template view to display a template name called home.html, right? By default, Django will look within an app for the templates folder. But to keep things simple, we can create a project level templates folders and tell Django to look there rather than in an app. Remember, once you create the apps, like, inside the apps, like, you're doing all this stuff, like, but if you go to our my Django basic to advanced and Django backend, like, how to create login, log out, and password change, password resets, and Django rest build up, like, I created other way, like, but there's another way, like, you can do, like, so it's very good to keep in those skills in your belt, like, so this is another way you can do it, like, so just that's home the template view, simple template name, save the file. We have to tell the setting files, like, we added, like, the base directory and templates, like, so with the base directory, templates. So we have to create the templates folders in the directory, okay. So we create a templates folder. So the templates folder, so we'll create the home.html file. Okay, and just write a couple of few lines here, like so we will load like social account form django-allauth at the top, and then display a message to the user if he or she is logged in. Otherwise, we will provide a link to log into the GitHub. Okay, so let's write it down. So first we will load the social account, that form. This is a special tag for the Django. Okay, so load social account, and next give a couple of messages like you can choose H1, H2, H2, which you prefer, you like. So tutorial. Next, we're saying that if the user is logged in, user is authenticated. If user is authenticated, make sure the spelling is right. Then we'll give the username, like username. All right. Else, what we'll do? Else, we will redirect to the GitHub. Okay. Provider login URL to the GitHub. Okay. If you do the Gmail or Facebook, Twitter, you can write it in here, like that service provider here, like and right, sign up. Website for, you can design more nicely, like the front end part, like but for simplicity, like just for quicker to know how to do it, like this. To do the endf, save the file. For the here you see, like everything is same, like all you have to change from GitHub to Facebook, Facebook to Twitter, so Twitter to Gmail, like but you have to get those client ID and secret key, like from that as that particular application, like you'll find all the informations and django-allauth docs for any additional configuration you need, like but overall approach is the same. Okay, so you have to update our URL now, as we have added like home HTML page, like so just first import the home, like use that home class, like we imported, like and if you're confused, like what is all about, like how to import all of this, how to create all of this stuff, like you can watch Python basics and Python advanced, where I've explained everything, so to do all this tutorial, is very handy, very useful for you guys, to watch those videos, so you'll be more familiar, what's happening here, so next, excuse me, next we'll do our home template here, okay. Alright, it's a little bit the default, the home, you don't have to write down inside that colon, if it's a by default home, so dot as view, we're using the as view, the method, from filter. Save the file. Now our server is running. Let's see if I think everything's working. Another benefit of using the Django, it comes with the default server, you don't have to install third-party servers to run your program, so let's go to again here, and if you just go to the logout and we'll try to log in, so log in again, it should give us a, if you go to the page, it should give us the login options, improperly configured, something going on. Template response mixing requests and either definition of template names or implementation of forget template names. What's happening here? We'll fix it, this is a good way of to learning, if there's a mistake happen, so you know exactly what happening, so probably something happening in here, let's see what's going on. Home.html. No guys, there's a very small mistake here, what it says here. If you go in here, the template revision mixing requires either a definition of template name, or an implementation of get template names. So here, this is where I made a mistake here, so it should be a template name, not colon here. It should be that, So save these and run the server again. Now refresh the page. Now this is all our tutorials, and if you go press the sign up, it will take to our GitHub account. You see, sign in by GitHub, you're about to sign in, you're using third-party account from GitHub. So from here you can use the Facebooks, Twitters and Gmails and everything, so continue. Hope everything goes well. Now it says social app matching query does not exist. So this is what's happening, so if you go to the setting file, the site ID, so we're going to change that to, let's say 2. Save this. Now go back to the site again, refresh the page, continue. No, Yahoo. So it's working now. So all-auth tutorial by Mohammed J. This is name of the username, like so just I want to show you from here as well. Let's see what's happening in here side by side. Okay, so just to authorize programming with Mohammed, you're being redirected to the authorized application, like so to go back to the home page, like the way we did, like login redirect URL, like it will take you to the home page, like but you guys can make it more nicer, like a home page and things, like the HTML templates and everything, like so you're being redirected to the authorized application. So all of the tutorials welcome programming-with-mohammed, like this is for the home page, like so guys, you have seen, like how you can easily very quickly integrate your third-party all-auth package, like to speed up the process of login, like you can integrate, like Gmail account, Twitter, Facebook, like you can name it, like find like different Yahoo, all this, like there's a plenty of, if you go to the documentations, there's a huge list, like which the provider you can, like use for the login, for social login. Now we have seen how you can log in using your social account through GitHub, like so now we will see how you can do through the Gmail account, like the Google. If you have a Gmail account, you can use your Google email to log in. So to do this, like pretty much same everything. So we'll add a couple of things on the setting file as well, right? Which is the way you did here with the GitHub. So we're just going to copy this and just provide the Google, like Google, right? And if you go to their documentations, like this is the documentation for the django-allauth, like so they have a plenty of the provider, like you can, if you have an account, like you can log in through those account, like if you can, you see, if you name it, you will find it, like there's all the big brand and everything, like so there is a we did like a GitHub, like so we'll do less the Google. So if you press the Google in here, it will give you, like some sort of hints, like how to do it, like and what's need to be filled in. Okay, so you see, remember we set up the callback, like this is how you can set up the callback for the Google, like but you have to get, like the APIs and the credentials, all this stuff, like client ID and client secrets, all this stuff, like so. And the configuration for the Django, like this is what you need to fill in the form, like for the Django, like but this is optionally, like you can put that the Django as well, the setting files as well, like and just do it over here, like next what we'll do, we'll start the server and go to the before we go to run the server. Okay, run the server, there's no problem. So you can just migrate, let's see, like if there's any change happen, like that will be connected with the database. Right, so nothing to add, like so everything's fine. So if you go to the right Google developer console, like from there, like you have to create Google developer console, right? So we'll go to that link. Now while it's loading, we'll do one thing, like we'll have the way we did here on page. I'm not making fancy, like just so we'll do it in here the way we did, like for GitHub, like so we'll do for the Google as well, right? So do the Google in here, so the Google login URL, Google and then you're just getting some more of Google's image, like um, and so you save the file. We'll go to the console now. Let's say it's came in. So if we just make it more bigger, so you'll see everything what's going on. So we'll create a new project, like before we get any credentials and stuff, like so right, so press that link, create project, and give the name of the project. You have 12 projects remaining in your code or request of so the Django all-auth tutorial. Just to create, like location, no organizations. While it's running, like we'll run our server here, and the admin panels. Okay, still working on it. My computer is getting very slow, guys. Like I keep it out. Select project, configure consent screen. So go in that place. So select the external. As I can't select the internal, like as you can see, it's giving some sort of a hints, like so just create. Okay, so give the name of the apps, like and emails and all this stuff, like so reasons we select the external, so any user can sign up via the Google Auth, like so this app name, let's say all-auth tutorial, email, programming-with-mohammed 21 gmail.com, and that will do, like you don't have to fill the rest. Let's go down, and let's see that it goes without. Okay, programming on add, right. So now we'll go to save and continue. So go to credentials, and from there you need to we'll get the auth client ID and secret as well. So the auth client ID, so from here application types, we'll say web applications, and name of the web client, which will do the auth tutorials. Name could be like for my name, like your name, like so we'll use the local host, like and because we are using development server, like so we'll test on the local server, so we use 127.1.1.1/8000. Right. Next, we'll use a redirect URL. So if you want to get the redirect URLs, you just get a copy from there. You see, this is the one. Okay. Is this one. Right. And that will give us a client and client secret. We'll save them. Okay. ID and client secret. Okay. Get that one. Client secret. Okay. We're gonna use these informations. Right. So go back to our admin panel. Okay. Hope our server is everything okay working. Let's see. Yeah, everything is working. Let's go to our admin panel now. So remember we did earlier the GitHub icon. So I'm going to log into the admin 456, and from there we have to fill up all the information for the Google. So once we're on the dashboard, from there we'll go to the social applications. Okay, right, go to add the social application, and then the service provider. Now I have it to we did earlier GitHub, so the Google, and name. What do you want to give name? All-auth tutorial and client ID. Okay, got the client ID. And the client secret. Right. Select this one because this is where we'll try to log in our information, like now. Save these. So now there's two social applications. So what we'll do, just going to one quick migration. Let's see if there's anything left over. Migrate. Everything is okay. Nothing to add. Just run server. Here, like we did use the class and patterns and everything, like but if it doesn't work, like you're gonna change those things, like and because we didn't install like the Django XP forms or bootstraps and stuff like anything. So let's go back to our application. So we're just going to log out from there, from admin panels, and so just go to direct that URL. Hope it will give us a syntax error. Static extended int if did you forget to register to load this tag. Okay, so here is a problem. Okay, probably is this the what it says? Yeah, you see, there's the problem. Right, so what we'll do, we'll just put simple instead of all the fancy now, like now for time being. Okay. Yeah. Google sign up. Okay. Save this. Now reload the page. Okay. So here this is for the sign up for the. Okay, I'll just make it more nicer. Just break one line. We did the GitHub earlier, so we'll go to the Google sign up. Let's see what it does. Okay, so it's giving us the options to throw our Gmail account. So to go continue. Let's see what's happening to the servers. Let's see. Perfect. So this is my account, the Gmail account, like programming with Mohammed Gmail. So if I press these, I'm giving the authorized Google to log into my application through this email, it says you are about to use your Google account to log into abc.com. So all-auth tutorials, welcome testing all-auth, this is the way we logged into the Google, so if you go back to the Google console, if you refresh, you might see that we have used once, the APIs. So guys, we've seen how you can use your social account. You can connect your social account to your Django applications, and you can use the django-allauth package to do this for you. And the same goes with the Twitters and Facebooks and any other major application. If you have an account, you can integrate with your applications, and the more information you'll get on the documentation, all of documentation, So I hope you guys enjoy this tutorial, and this is a very important skill, to keep in your belt, so because majority of the application these days, a web application, they use social account for logging, instead of people creating again the sign up, creating the username and password, and it's very hard to remember all the password, so it's very handy to log in through the social account, I have shown you how to do this, and if you have any questions, please come back to me with message, the comments, and please do like my please subscribe to my channels and likes and comment and share, please. I appreciate your support, without your support, or encourage me, to continue creating those contents, thank you so much. Thank you. Bye bye.